How they hanging down, dudes? It's me, the Media Raptor. Welcome back to another episode of the Media Raptor Reviews. You haven't noticed? Put some stuff up. Kinda don't want to top a blank wall the entire time. And question for y'all. What did you think of the new intro? Not sure if I'll keep it or not. Not sure if it'll last another 50 or 100 episodes. But for now, I think it's serviceable while I try and figure out what's next. Frankly, if I had to keep it, I'd be fine with it. But I'm always on the lookout for a new idea for my intros. Got any ideas? Let me know in the comments below. In fact, while I'm talking about that, if you have any recommendations for what movie I should watch, leave them in the comments or just hit me up on social media. All of them are under the Media Raptor, and if you hit me up and I check out the video, if I check out the movie, I'll give you a shout out. Just thank you for giving me a good idea for another video. But today, you guys, let's take a look at a superhero movie. A 2008 superhero movie. No, it's not Thor Ragnarok. I'm sorry, I haven't seen it yet. I'm talking about a pretty obscure movie by today's standards. Not a lot of people even remember this happened. But I'm talking, of course, about Hancock. It's a pretty obscure movie by today's standards. I mean, people remember it, but there aren't droves upon droves of people who love it, who still quote it, who talk about it. And that is reasonable. The movie is okay. It's a good movie, but you know what, let's talk about it itself. One thing which I'm going to say right off the bat, I really enjoyed about this movie was Hancock himself. Kind of a cliche in some genres, subgenres of superheroes, is the unwanting hero, or the unwilling hero. The guy who doesn't really want to save the day. We get it all the time, like Ash from the Evil Dead series. He's not the hero who goes out of his way like Batman, but he is still a hero. Hancock is a drunk, foul-mouthed hero who destroys public property in the millions. And one thing this movie does great right off the bat is actually establish that people have to pay for that. That's actually kind of a recurring theme, is the idea of where should we stop and how far should we allow Hancock to go. It actually kind of does look at superheroes in a unique way. And Hancock himself is a pretty funny character. He's for like 99% of the movie, he is super laid back. He is borderline unkillable. I'll explain borderline in a minute. But he's just like, look, there's only one way that this ends. Just give up. Even when he lands in prison, he willingly goes to prison. I'm going to explain that in a minute. He literally is surrounded by criminals and he goes, oh, okay, I get it. I put most of you here. He's just calm, collected, drunk most of the time. He's likable. The constant battle of am I going to do the right thing is thrown out in favor of where can I get some whiskey? Like that, he literally is the least likely hero, yet he's a really good hero at the same time. Part of that has to do with the fact that, with his background. See, there is not a huge origin story. This movie literally begins with him having his powers and don't explain how he got them till the very end of the movie. It turns out he's part of this ancient race of essentially immortal creatures which have superpowers. And when the male and the female meet, they die, the end. And apparently he just got beaten up really badly, lost all memories of that, and now he just knows I have superpowers. So, yeah, that's literally his whole backstory. It's really simple, but he gets the job done, and isn't that what we need? Most of the movie is him flying around beating up bad guys or trying to get a better public image. Really, the whole plot is it's not even about this one supervillain he's trying to stop. It's much more, there's this guy he saves who's like a PR manager or something. I don't know, he works with people essentially. And he believes that Hancock is being treated like crap, and really he is. He wants to help Hancock kind of become the hero he once was again to the people. Have people love him, give the respect that the guy thinks he should have. Hancock kind of just goes with it because why not? The movie has to happen. And that actually does lead to him going to jail for all the stuff he destroyed, the public damage, trying to get counseling. it's a pretty grounded movie. Despite the fact that he has superpowers, it really just seems to be flight and strength. That's it. And it's pretty grounded in the fact that he's still technically just a guy. Which is an angle I really like in this movie, is the fact that he might be a superhero, but he's still just a guy. He's not a god. He kind of is, but he's as human as you and me, just with powers. I think another thing that works for this movie is the humor. It's not a comedy all the way through, but when the jokes land, they land and are hilarious. You know the ones I'm talking about, so I'm not going to bother going into them, and I don't want to spoil them because they kind of have to do with the actual story. Now, they say behind every good hero is an even better villain. Not in this one. The villain is probably the worst thing about this movie. The plot, it's very basic. It gets the job done, but it is creative and unique. But the problem is, it has such a great idea, it kind of wastes some of that potential. Yeah. This movie's good. It could have been fantastic. But it's not, and the villain certainly isn't helping things. His name is said all of twice. He has no power, he has no real motivation other than he was a bank robber who Hancock cut his hand off to save people who were tied to bombs. He's not threatening or intimidating. He's not really anything. He's just there to sort of be the super villain, which I almost feel like the movie maybe would have been better if he didn't show up again. Because think about it. The movie could have been about a superhero struggling with his powers, with who he is, and how the public sees him. Kind of like a more developed Spider-Man, kind of. But I also get that superhero, you need a bad guy to fight in the end, you have to have that whole climax, and the fight was at least fun. But writing, it's decent. It has very good moments, it has bad moments. Like I said, the villain is not memorable in the slightest, and some scenes kind of just seem to be there because they couldn't think of anything else to do. But for those scenes, we do have scenes that make you laugh out loud. And it is funny. It's just a shame we couldn't get more. But the movie does also have some pretty good things going for it. The acting in this movie, just from everyone, is great. Will Smith in particular, you just gotta like Will Smith. I don't think I've seen a movie he was in that was genuinely bad. Men in Black 1 to 3 I might not be the biggest fan of, but he was really entertaining in that. I know Suicide Squad is such a polarizing movie. I enjoyed it, and I thought he was one of the best parts of it. In this, he does a great job. It's almost as if he's kind of playing a bit of an unhinged version of Will from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Seriously. It's as if it's essentially kind of the same as that character, just a bit more vulgar and drunk, with superpowers. Actually, how cool would that be? If, nostalgia and remakes are such a big thing, and superheroes are a big thing, what if we had a Fresh Prince of Bel... never mind. Let's not even go there. Some things are better left in the past. And some things are better left never rebooted. You know who you are. But, yeah, really, the thing is, though, Will Smith, I'm pretty sure, is the only actor who I remember from the movie. Everyone else does a good job, but... Oh, wait a minute. That's where I knew her from. The PR guy, Ray, his wife, is played by Charlize Theron. She was Furiosa in Mad Max Fury Road. That's where I knew her from. I kind of felt like I knew her from somewhere. Just jumping through the whole cast here. I mean, they are all like they've been in other stuff. I can tell you that much just in looking at it. Oh, wait a minute. Jason Bateman. He was Nick Wilde in Zootopia. Yeah, sorry, I'm just checking on IMDb here. They've been in stuff, but maybe I don't know. I just don't recognize them. Maybe that's my fault, or maybe it's the fact that they just haven't been in that much. I don't know. But if there was one thing... Yeah. The movie is fun, and the special effects themselves are a mixed bag. I can imagine back in 2008, because keep in mind, around 2008 is when people kind of started to think maybe superhero movies could be done well. Iron Man had just come out in 2000. Well, Iron Man came out the same year as Hancock. So it certainly was shown that, superhero movies could be done well with great effects, both practical and CG. And to be honest, this movie has a lot of good CG, but it also has some bad CG. Namely, during this one big superpowered fight, which I don't really want to spoil, during a storm on a power tower, essentially, the CG gets kind of noticeably bad. And the thing is, though, it's also spliced in with really good CG at the same time. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's all over the place, and, some moments it's terrible, some moments it's great. It is what it is. But then, the scenes like when he is like just picking up a car or dragging a car, this one hilarious scene where he grabs a kid, throws him in the air. Like, that's all done really well. And even by today's standards, it looks pretty good. Normally this isn't something I would really ever have to talk about, but music? There's something I do feel like I have to mention. There's a song used in it, which essentially, it's a rap song. I'm just checking if I have the name right. Yeah, it's Move Bitch. And the thing is, they decide they're gonna censor it. Now, most songs, when you would censor it for the radio or for something like that, you would put like a over it, or another word, or just kind of do something. This one, they just straight up cut out the word entirely and have the instrumental part there. So it goes, move, get out the way, move. And it's super noticeable. Super noticeable because it's the background music in a flying scene. It's unintentionally hilarious on a lot of levels. I get why they didn't, because this movie is only PG-13, and, well, it's only PG, and they were trying to keep it at that kind of level, sort of, but it also is kind of funny that it's just funny, Cinematography is fine, lighting is fine. When it gets down to it, can I recommend Hancock? Yeah. 2 raptor claws out of 4 on an actual critic scale. On the enjoyability factor, I'd give it 3 raptor claws out of 4. Overall, I'll give it 2.5 raptor claws out of 4. So final verdict, 2.5 raptor claws out of 4. It had a lot of potential. Looking back, there was so much potential for it. And there's been a sequel in production for almost a decade now. Frankly, I don't think it's ever going to happen. What they could do is a comic series. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there already was a comic made before or after this. But just a monthly series of Hancock. It could be pretty darn good. You'll have more than enough material here, it's clear this character is likable enough, so why not give it a shot? Then again, that is just me. And, I'm the guy who likes Sharknado. So, anyhow, you guys, that's all the time I got for this review. So, until next time, you guys, if you have any suggestions, hit me up at the Media Raptor on all big social media sites. And until next time, this is the Media Raptor saying keep cool, and I will see all you dino dudes around. Later.